At 14 years of age, young William left the peaceful shores of Minasville to participate in the death struggle that had gripped the great American Republic. 10,000 other Maritimers joined the conflict, some for financial gain, others for adventure and glory. For William, the American conflict was personal. His mother lived in America.
In the summer of '62, William was serving on a gunboat anchored on the James River, a mere 30 miles from Richmond, the capital of the Southern Confederacy. Rumors abounded that the North would soon be victorious. Sailors aboard the gunboat expected to triumphantly walk the streets of Richmond within the month.
For the past week, William and others on the gunboat waited for news from the front that Richmond had been taken. Daily reports were received, but the reports were confusing. The reports claimed glorious victories with heavy losses to the south, yet every day the distant rumble of gunfire seemed to draw closer. Today, William could see the smoke of rebel gunfire for the first time. The sound was deafening. 12 mighty men of war fired in unison. Among the warships of the north were the famed Galena, Aroostook, and the Jacob Bell. At 5 o'clock sharp, with the sun still high in the afternoon sky, the order was given for the warships to fire all guns on the rebel troops that were located somewhere beyond a low-lying hill that dominated the western horizon. The ferocious pounding on rebel forces went unanswered, as the warships were beyond the range of the rebels' most powerful guns. The naval attack continued late into the evening. The next day, William could see men on the banks of the James River erecting thousands of White Army tents. The tents seemed as numerous as mayflowers in the fields of Minasville. 90,000 soldiers from the beleaguered Northern Army were seeking shelter under guard of the anchored gunships. With these gunships present, the armies of the South would advance no further. In days after the battle, William wandered through this newly built city of tents. It was a city of misery. The conditions were cramped. There were too many men and animals in too small a place. The heat often exceeded 100 degrees. Adding to the misery, poor sanitation attracted a plague of large black flies. The conditions were hardest on the broken men, who filled the air with plaintive cries, men whose minds and bodies had been torn in battle. The young mariner from Minasville was among those assigned the dreary task of burying the dead. A bitter seed was sown that summer, seed yielding endless fields of barren white crosses. The dead were too numerous for William to count, though he was told that 5,000 rebel soldiers had been killed on the final afternoon of battle. 5,000 in one afternoon. He often wondered to himself how the Civil War could continue with the loss of so many men. The days passed without event. No new orders were given to advance on Richmond. Hopes of walking the streets of the southern capital began to wither. Earlier expectations that the war might soon be over now seemed fanciful and unrealistic. William glumly realized that years might pass before he would, once again, feel the summer breezes blowing off the Cobequid Bay, or hear the familiar accents of family and childhood friends. While the war would one day end, not so its searing memories. William would be haunted for years by the pitiful cries of dying men that fell in battle for Richmond in the summer of '62.